Have you ever looked at something familiar, something you thought you knew really well, and then suddenly seen it completely transformed, like stretched out, reimagined? Well, that's kind of what we're getting into today. We're doing a deep dive into something pretty interesting, the new Tesla Model YL. And to really get a handle on it, we're pulling all the key stuff directly from this article called Tesla Model YL. This is it.
Yeah, our mission today is really to understand this new version. Like, why now? Why did Tesla launch it? What's actually different about it? And, what does it signal about Tesla's bigger picture, especially in one of the toughest car markets out there?
Exactly. We want to cut through the noise for you, pull out the really important bits and maybe surprising facts from the source, and just give you a clear picture of what this new Tesla is all about. So let's start right at the beginning. We all know the Model Y, but this YL, that L sounds significant. Why stretch the Model Y? And where is this actually launching?
So what's really fascinating is the strategy behind it. Tesla's rolled out this longer wheelbase Model Y specifically for China. And the article is pretty clear. This isn't just some new trim level. It's a direct move to stay competitive there. Apparently, the standard Model Y, it's been losing a bit of ground. So Tesla's adapting. They're trying to appeal directly to what Chinese buyers want. It's a market where, things like rear passenger comfort, almost executive level space in the back, that's huge. Local brands are all over that. So this is Tesla saying, okay, we hear you. We see what you value. It's about specific preferences, not just raw sales numbers.
That's a really key insight. So it's more than just a minor adjustment. It sounds like it could be a real shift in how they approach things. Does this mean they're moving away from that global one-size-fits-all model? Or is this just, a special case for a unique market like China? What do you think that tells us about their bigger strategy?
Okay, right. Let's unpack this L then. When you say extended wheelbase, what does that actually mean in real world terms for the Model YL? How much bigger is it and what does that give you inside?
Yeah, the L definitely means length, and you could almost say lounge, too. The changes, they're pretty noticeable. The wheelbase itself, it's stretched by nearly 6 inches, so going from about 114 inches to just under 120 inches. That's 2,890 millimeters up to 3,040. And the total length, that's grown by over 7 inches, so from around 188 inches to almost 196. But here's the main thing for you, the person using it. It means it can now fit 6 people comfortably. And critically, each person gets their own individual seat. And all that extra length, it's not just for legs, it massively boosts the cargo space too. Get this, it jumps from about 72 cubic feet in the regular Y, which is already pretty good, to almost 90 cubic feet. Wow, that's genuinely huge.
Wow, 90 cubic feet. That sounds like a massive difference. So for, families listening or anyone who needs to haul a lot of stuff, how does that extra room really change how usable the YL is day to day compared to the standard one? Okay, this is where it gets really interesting, I think. It's not just about jamming in more seats, right? What are the specific things inside, the comfort features, the conveniences that make the YL feel, well, different? More premium, maybe.
Right, and this is where it feels like Tesla really paid attention to that specific market feedback. The YL gets some genuinely premium upgrades. For starters, you've got heated seats in all 3 rows. That's a nice touch, especially for colder places. Plus, and this is a big one, ventilated seats in the first and second rows. That's real luxury, especially when it's hot. Then in the second row, check this out. Powered armrests. They actually rise up out of the seat base, so you get perfect positioning. Apparently, that fixes a complaint some Model X owners had. Oh, and they haven't forgotten the third row either. There are dedicated air vents back there on the C-pillars for better airflow. And to make getting out easier, there are buttons for the third row folks to electrically slide the second row seats forward. Tesla's saying there's plenty of room for adults back there, too.
Okay, wow. That does sound like a lot more attention to detail for everyone, not just the driver. Especially those powered armrests and third row vents, it really seems to lift the whole passenger experience compared to the standard Model Y. Much more luxurious, much more thoughtful. So with all this extra size, these added features, you'd maybe expect to hit on performance, right? Are there any trade-offs? Does the Model YL drive differently than the shorter version?
That's a fair question, and the article gives us the numbers. Performance-wise, there's a tiny difference in acceleration. The YL does 0 to 62 miles per hour. That's 0 to 100 kilometers in 4.5 seconds. The regular long-range dual-motor Y does it in 4.3 seconds. So yeah, marginally slower. But the top speed, exactly the same, 125 miles per hour. And interestingly, the range using China's CLTC cycle actually goes up by 1 kilometer from 750 kilometers to 751 kilometers. So effectively the same range, around 466 miles. But here's something really key. the suspension. It's been upgraded quite significantly from the standard Model Y. It now uses shock absorbers with what they call continuously variable damping. Think of it like the adaptive dampers from the newer Model 3 Highland or the Juniper facelift. It means the car actively adjusts for bumps. So the focus is definitely more on comfort, a smoother ride.
Ah, okay. So, yeah, a fraction slower off the line, but basically the same range, and you gain a noticeably better ride quality. That sounds like a pretty smart trade-off, actually, especially for the kind of buyer who wants that extra space and comfort. Makes sense. All right, let's talk brass tacks then. Price. What does this Model YL cost in China? And the big question for many of us, what are the odds we'll actually see this thing driving around here in the US?
Okay, so in China, the starting price is 339,000 yuan, which works out to roughly 47,180 US dollars right now. That makes it about $3,500 more expensive than the standard Model Y over there. Now, initially, the choices are pretty limited, just one wheel option, the 19-inch AR wheels, and only a black interior to start. They say a lighter interior is coming later, though. You can add options like enhanced assisted driving or the full intelligent assisted driving package for extra cost, of course. And that brings us to the U.S. question.
Yeah, the big one. Will it come here?
Well, the thinking is, the chances seem pretty high, especially with all the talk about Tesla maybe winding down production of the Model X. The YL could potentially fill that gap, and it's still if it does come to the U.S., the price difference compared to the standard Y would probably be bigger, maybe around $5,000 more is the estimate mentioned, but no official word from Tesla on U.S. plans just yet, so we'll have to wait and see. It's interesting though, right? Because it shows Tesla playing across the spectrum. You've got this roomier, more premium YL for China, and then there are reports they're also working on a really stripped down basic Model Y, maybe aiming for around $35,000 in some markets. So very different strategies happening at once.
That is fascinating. It really makes you think about how they're adapting their global strategy, tailoring things for different needs, and, well, different wallets, too. Okay, so just to quickly wrap up the key points. The Tesla Model YL looks like a really smart, strategic move specifically for the Chinese market. It offers way more space, some genuinely nice comfort upgrades, and apparently a smoother ride. And yeah, definitely raises questions about whether we'll see it stateside.
Absolutely. And maybe this leaves you, the listener, with a final thought to chew on. If Tesla is now creating these more specialized versions, like the YL tailored for China, what does that signal for the future? Are we going to see less global uniformity in their cars? And how could that reshape the market for family EVs, especially if something like the Model X does eventually bow out?
Good question. It's definitely a dynamic time in the EV world. Lots of shifts to watch, definitely something to ponder.